Types of women who will cheat on you. Don't let this be you. Stoicism. The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. In modern relationships, many men believe cheating is just a mistake or a moment of weakness. But the truth is, some women are wired to cheat. Not out of malice, but due to deep-rooted psychological patterns. At Stoic, we uncover the types of women who are most likely to cheat, so you can spot the signs before it's too late. Stay tuned and learn how to protect your peace as a modern Stoic. Number 1. The attention addict. She's never satisfied. Some women say they want a loyal, devoted man, someone who puts them first, treats them like a queen and is truly committed to them. But when they finally have that, it's never enough. Why? Because for some women, the biggest addiction isn't love, it's attention. You can give her all your time, loyalty and devotion, but the second she steps outside, she needs every other man in the room to see her, and if they don't, she'll find a way to make them notice. At first, she seems charming, confident, and fun. She laughs easily, flirts effortlessly, and has a way of drawing people in. It feels harmless, right? But over time, you start noticing things. Maybe it's the way she constantly seeks validation online, posting pictures designed to get reactions from men. Perhaps it's how she never stops talking about other guys hitting on her, almost like she needs to prove that she's always in demand. Or maybe it's how she flirts, just a little too much, always towing the line, always keeping one foot in the world of possibility, never truly letting things settle. And the worst part? She doesn't think she's doing anything wrong. To her, flirting isn't cheating. Keeping other guys on the hook doesn't feel like disloyalty. To her, receiving attention from other men is just part of life. But to you, it's the beginning of something dangerous, a path that leads to emotional manipulation, confusion, and betrayal. The biggest mistake men make with attention addicts is thinking, if I just love her enough, she won't need anyone else. But that's not how it works. Women like this don't just enjoy attention, they need it. It's an addiction to validation, just like the need some have for drugs, gambling, or the constant pursuit of likes on social media. She feels empty without it, and that emptiness pushes her to constantly seek more. More compliments, more eyes on her, more proof that she's still wanted, that she still matters. Here's where the Stoic mindset comes in. As a high-value man, you need to understand that true happiness doesn't come from constantly trying to meet someone else's emotional needs. Stoic happiness is about focusing on what you can control, your own peace, your own life. You cannot give a woman emotional stability if she isn't ready to find it within herself. And here's the worst part. The more you love her, the less she values your attention. This is the law of diminishing returns. At first, your compliments, affection, and validation make her feel amazing, but as time passes, she grows used to it. Once she's used to it, it no longer gives her the same emotional high. This is why she starts looking elsewhere, why she keeps male friends around, why she enjoys guys sliding into her DMs, why she flirts in ways that make you uncomfortable but never technically crosses the line. She doesn't want to cheat, but she also doesn't want to stop feeling desired. So what happens when she meets someone who gives her that rush again? A co-worker who flatters her? A stranger who makes her feel sexy? An ex who unexpectedly reaches out? She'll tell herself it's nothing, and maybe at first it really is. But over time she pushes the boundary further and further until one night she crosses it completely. When you finally discover the truth, she won't even understand why you're so hurt. To her, it was never about betraying you, it was about chasing the feeling she lost. This is where the Stoic life lesson comes into play. Know your worth, know what you deserve, and walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't align with your principles. If you're with a woman like this, the only way to win is to walk away before you become just another man she's grown bored of. Protect your peace, and don't fall for the illusion that you can fix someone who isn't ready to be fixed. Remember, as a high-value man living by the Stoic mindset, your focus should be on emotional independence and self-respect. Don't waste time trying to fill the void of someone who thrives on attention but will never give back the love and loyalty you deserve. True happiness comes from within, and you can't give that to someone who constantly needs the validation of others. So, trust yourself, stay grounded, and move forward with the strength that comes from understanding who you truly are. Number 2. The one who gets bored in every relationship. Some women fall fast. They love the rush of a new relationship, the butterflies, the passion, the excitement. For the first few months, they're obsessed with you. They text you all day. They tell you they've never felt this way before. They make you feel like you're the center of their universe. And then it fades. Not because you changed, not because you did anything wrong, but because she got bored. At first, she won't admit it, not even to herself. She'll still act happy, still post pictures of you two together, still tell you she loves you, but underneath it all, she's restless. She starts pulling away. She stops texting as much. She seems distracted when you talk, and when you ask her what's wrong, she'll say, "Nothing, everything's fine." But deep down, something inside her is whispering, "Is this all there is?" Some women aren't built for stability. They say they want a healthy, committed relationship, but when they actually get one, they don't know how to handle it because, in their past, love was always tied to chaos. Maybe they grew up in a household where love was unpredictable, where arguments, breakups, and drama were the norm. Maybe they've only dated toxic men, the kind who kept them on edge, guessing, never knowing if they were truly loved. Whatever the case, they've been conditioned to believe that love should feel intense. So when they find a good man, someone stable, kind, and consistent, they don't know how to process it, and instead of feeling safe, they feel bored. That boredom becomes dangerous because now her mind starts searching for excitement somewhere else. She might flirt with other men just to feel something, pick fights with you just to create drama, go out partying more, chasing that single life thrill again. She'll tell herself it's harmless until one day she meets a guy who gives her that rush again. Suddenly, she's caught in an emotional affair. She's justifying flirting, testing the waters, seeing if she still has options. Until, finally, she cheats, not because she stopped loving you, but because she doesn't know how to exist in a relationship without chaos. The hard truth, you can't fix her. A woman like this doesn't cheat because you failed her. She cheats because she's wired for instability. Even if you become more exciting, try harder to keep her attention, or give her space to miss you, it won't change anything. Because no matter what you do, eventually she will get bored again. And when she does, she'll start looking for the next thrill. Take the story of Alex, a guy in his early 30s who fell head over heels for a woman named Laura. For the first few months, everything was perfect. They went on spontaneous trips, laughed together, and seemed like a perfect match. But then, out of nowhere, Laura started pulling away. She stopped texting as much, didn't show interest in his plans, and started spending more time out with her friends. Alex thought maybe he wasn't exciting enough, so he tried to change things up. More surprise dates, more effort. But nothing worked. Laura eventually started seeing another guy, a thrill seeker who provided the chaos she couldn't live without. Alex was devastated, but finally realized that no matter what he did, he couldn't change her need for instability. The hardest lesson he learned was that some women aren't meant for stability, and trying to keep them only leads to heartbreak. That's why the best thing you can do is never try to keep a woman who is addicted to chaos. Because if she's the type who always gets bored, she won't stop searching for excitement until she destroys everything in the process. It's painful to admit, but recognizing this early on can save you a lot of emotional heartache in the future. You deserve a relationship grounded in peace and mutual respect, not a never-ending cycle of drama and instability. Comment below, "I don't look back, I level up." Let's grow together and build relationships that truly fulfill us. Number 3. The serial cheater who will never stop. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to sabotage their relationships, even when they seem to have everything they need? In modern relationships, many men assume that cheating is just a mistake or a moment of weakness, but in reality, there are deeper psychological patterns at play. It's not always about malice, but about certain types of women who are more likely to cheat, driven by factors like insecurity, emotional needs, or a lack of self-awareness. As a Stoic mindset teaches us, self-examination is key. If you want to protect your peace and avoid unnecessary heartbreak, it's crucial to understand these psychological triggers before it's too late. Have you ever thought about what draws someone into cheating? Is it a temporary lack of control, or is there something more deeply embedded in their behavior? Let's dig deeper. Women who cheat are often those who feel emotionally unfulfilled, and not necessarily in their relationships, but within themselves. They might be seeking validation or trying to fill a void that exists from their past experiences. When they aren't in touch with their own emotions or they haven't healed from past wounds, they might act out in destructive ways. Does that sound familiar? Think about it. If someone's happiness is so fragile that they rely on external validation, can they truly find Stoic happiness? No, because happiness comes from within and is cultivated by mastering our own emotions. Another type of woman who might cheat is someone who seeks excitement and novelty. When life becomes too predictable, they may crave the thrill of something new. This desire for novelty, without reflection or self-contribution, often leads them down a path where cheating seems like an escape from the mundane. But, as Stoic principles teach us, true joy and fulfillment come not from fleeting pleasures, but from the quiet satisfaction of living in alignment with our values and pursuing lasting, meaningful goals. Could someone caught in the chase for novelty really experience contentment? Probably not. Then there are women who cheat because they've never learned to value themselves or their relationships. If a woman doesn't believe she's worthy of genuine love and respect, she might constantly seek attention from others to prove her worth. This lack of self-respect leaves her vulnerable to temptation, even if she deeply values her partner. It's all about healing that internal self-worth. If you understand your true value and act in alignment with it, the world can't shake your foundation. Remember, in relationships, both partners should build their happiness and self-worth individually, not depend on the other for validation. So how do you recognize the signs? It's important to ask yourself, are you with someone who feels emotionally fulfilled? Do they have their own purpose and inner peace? Or are they looking for something outside themselves to fill a void? By developing a Stoic mindset, you can better assess whether the relationship aligns with your core values and whether she is emotionally available and whole. Protecting your peace in relationships isn't about controlling others. It's about cultivating emotional self-sufficiency and finding fulfillment within yourself. As the Stoics taught, We are only in control of ourselves and our reactions. Understanding these dynamics will help you build stronger, healthier connections. So, what do you think? Are you taking the time to examine not just your relationships, but the psychological patterns at play within them? Understanding these patterns and developing emotional resilience is key to building a fulfilling life. Number 4. The party girl who never grew up. There's a type of woman who seems to live for the night, the one who thrives in the glow of flashing lights, the beat of loud music and the thrill of being the center of attention. At first, she seems like the life of the party, always spontaneous, adventurous and full of energy. She's the one you want to be around because she makes every moment feel exciting. But here's the catch. She's addicted to freedom. In her world, commitment feels more like a cage than a connection. And no matter how much she may say she's ready for something serious, deep down, she's still chasing the rush of the unknown. As a high-value man, you might think you can handle it. Maybe you even believe you're the one who can settle her down. But here's where the Stoic life lesson comes into play. You can't change someone who isn't ready to change. The issue isn't that she likes to go out. It's how she behaves when she's out. She drinks to the point where she forgets she's in a relationship, flirts just to feel desired, even when you're not around. She thrives on the attention of other men, constantly reminding herself that she still has it. And no matter how many times you tell her it makes you uncomfortable, she won't see it as a problem. She'll tell you, it's just dancing, or I didn't cheat, I just got a little drunk. And when you confront her, she might accuse you of being insecure. But here's the reality, she's playing with fire. She pushes boundaries over and over again, thinking it's harmless, until one night it all catches up to her. She gets burned, and so do you. Not every woman who enjoys going out or socializing is unfaithful, but when her lifestyle revolves around seeking constant validation, avoiding responsibility, and living purely for the thrill, it's clear she's not built for loyalty. To her, love is just another thrill, something she'll trade the second something more exciting comes along. This is where you, as a high-value man, need to be honest with yourself. It's not about how much you love her, how much you compromise, or how much you try to keep her attention. The truth is, people like this are constantly in search of something that can't be fulfilled by another person. They're looking for something that only they can change within themselves. If you find yourself in this situation, think about the lessons from Stoicism. True strength lies in recognizing when a relationship is built on unstable ground, when emotional control becomes more about maintaining your peace than holding on to something that isn't serving you. What will it take for you to recognize these red flags? Ask yourself, are you chasing something real, or are you being swept up in a cycle of drama and excitement that ultimately undermines your stability? You deserve someone who values loyalty, respect, and commitment. So take a step back and reflect. Understand that you, as a high-value man, have the power to walk away from situations that don't align with your goals. Your emotional independence is key. Stay grounded in your values and let go of relationships that don't honor them. In the end, the Stoic approach teaches us that love isn't about waiting for someone to change. It's about recognizing when something isn't right and having the strength to move on. Don't let yourself get lost in the chaos. Protect your peace and your worth. Remember, a truly fulfilling relationship is built on stability, trust, and respect, not fleeting thrills. Number 5. The one who still talks to her ex. We all know relationships take work, but some dynamics might be more than just work. They could be signs of a deeper issue that might lead to heartbreak. Stoic life lessons teach us that self-awareness, emotional discipline and respect are essential for healthy relationships. But how do you spot a relationship that isn't grounded in respect and trust? Let's dive into one of the biggest red flags men often overlook: the woman who still talks to her ex. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In relationships, true wealth comes not from the constant reassurance of someone else's attention, but from the self-assurance of knowing that you are enough and that your partner is fully committed. When a woman refuses to cut ties with her ex, she's keeping a door open, not just for casual conversation, not just for friendship, but for something more. She may tell you, "We're just friends now," or "He was a big part of my life, we've just got a history." But deep down, you know something's off. If a woman truly respects you and your relationship, there's no need for that old connection. The reality is, when a woman keeps her ex around, she's preserving an emotional safety net. She's holding on to a backup plan, and that's a huge red flag. When you invest in a relationship, you want to be all in, not competing with someone who has been in her past. Think of it this way: keeping an ex around is like keeping a fire extinguisher in a house that's not on fire. Why keep it if there's no need? It suggests a part of her isn't ready to let go. Even if she doesn't physically cheat, emotional infidelity has already started. Late-night texts, conversations about how they used to talk, or reminiscing about past memories. These are all signs of emotional breadcrumbs leading to something deeper. Cheating doesn't just happen in the body. It begins in the mind. When these small gestures continue, they undermine the foundation of trust. If she's still emotionally tied to him, how can she fully give herself to you? At the core, some women are simply not built for loyalty. This doesn't mean they're inherently bad, but they may be drawn to chaos or attention. In fact, some might need to keep a backup plan as a source of validation. It's a pattern of behavior that can be difficult to spot because it's often cloaked in the guise of friendship or innocent connection. But let's be real, if you think that you can change this dynamic by proving your love, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Real loyalty isn't about proving something over and over. It's about mutual respect, understanding, and commitment. Stoic mindset teaches us to accept what we can control, ourselves, and to let go of what we can't, including trying to change someone who isn't emotionally available or who hasn't fully committed to the relationship. So, let's stop pretending. If you're noticing these red flags, late-night texts, vague boundaries, or an ex that's always around, don't ignore your instincts. Trust your gut. You are enough, and you deserve someone who values and prioritizes you fully. Don't waste years of your life on someone who isn't ready for loyalty and respect. Pay attention to the signs. Take a step back if necessary, and protect your peace. After all, as Stoic teaches, it's not just about attracting love, it's about building a life that aligns with your values and ensures that you're surrounded by people who truly respect you. If you're ready to stop being held back by past relationships and focus on your own emotional growth, hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a comment below. I choose my peace over my past. Number 6. The emotionally unavailable woman. Have you ever been with someone who seems emotionally distant, even though everything else in the relationship feels perfectly fine? It's like you're physically together, but there's always this invisible wall between you two, creating a sense of disconnection. This is what it feels like to be with an emotionally unavailable woman. She might want a relationship and be present in your life, but on an emotional level, she's often distant, keeping a part of herself locked away. At first, things may seem great. She's attentive, affectionate, and engaging. But over time, cracks start to appear, and you begin to notice the gaps. Maybe she cancels plans without a reason, avoids deeper conversations, or pulls away when things start to get more serious. It's confusing, right? Because it's not that she doesn't care about you, it's simply that she can't fully engage with you emotionally. Why does this happen? It could be due to past trauma, a fear of intimacy, or perhaps a deep-rooted inability to connect with others on a meaningful emotional level. The emotionally unavailable woman may have learned to keep parts of herself guarded as a defense mechanism against vulnerability. In her mind, keeping her emotions at a distance helps her protect herself from getting hurt, even if that means pushing you away. As you try harder to connect with her, you may find yourself feeling more and more frustrated, questioning what went wrong, and wondering if you can fix things. This is where the Stoic mindset becomes incredibly valuable. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This means you cannot control another person's emotions, but you can control your response to the situation. If you are emotionally invested in someone who is not capable of meeting you halfway, it's important to recognize that you cannot fix her. You can only control your own actions, thoughts, and emotional responses. So, how do you handle a relationship with someone who is emotionally unavailable? The stoic happiness you seek cannot be found by constantly trying to fix someone else. Emotional connection is a two-way street, and true intimacy requires mutual openness and trust. If she is unwilling to open up, then the relationship can only go so far, no matter how much love and energy you pour into it. This is a painful truth, but it's important to understand. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you are constantly trying to connect with someone who isn't available to you emotionally, you'll find yourself drained, frustrated, and unfulfilled. At some point you have to ask yourself, why are you investing in someone who isn't emotionally present? You deserve a relationship where both people are committed to understanding and supporting each other. If she's not ready to give herself to you emotionally, it might be time to step back and focus on what you can control: your own happiness, peace, and emotional well-being. A high-value man knows that emotional availability is essential in a meaningful relationship, and he doesn't settle for anything less. Think about this. Have you ever tried to force a connection with someone who wasn't emotionally available, and did it ever truly work out? At what cost? Did you sacrifice your own happiness, peace, and emotional balance in the process? The lesson here is clear. No matter how much you care about someone, you cannot change them or make them emotionally available if they aren't willing to do the work themselves. The Stoic life lesson is that true peace and happiness come from within. When you realize that you deserve a partnership where emotional connection flows freely from both sides, you can stop wasting time and energy on relationships that leave you unfulfilled. Take a step back, recognize your own value, and let go of what you cannot control. Focus on building your own emotional resilience and creating a life filled with true connection, not just in relationships, but within yourself. Number 7. The commitment phobe. There's a certain type of woman who's likely to break your heart, and it's the commitment phobe. At first, she might tell you that she's not ready for a serious relationship, or she may act as if she's perfectly content with things the way they are. But deep down, her fears of commitment are quietly eating away at her ability to fully engage in a relationship. Maybe she's been hurt in the past, faced abandonment, or simply doesn't trust people enough to give herself completely. She enjoys the thrill of the chase, the excitement of new beginnings. But when the relationship starts to get serious, she pulls away. At times, you may find yourself questioning if you're enough. She might push you away emotionally, making you feel like you're always falling short. It's not about you. It's her defense mechanism, built from unresolved fears. Instead of confronting her anxiety, she'll shut you out, creating distance between you and the intimacy you seek. As the relationship moves forward, this fear of vulnerability leads her to seek attention and excitement elsewhere, whether through emotional affairs or, in some cases, physical cheating. This is where the Stoic life lesson becomes crucial. The Stoic mindset teaches us that we cannot change another person's fears or anxieties, no matter how much we care. The reality is, if she's not ready to commit, no amount of love or reassurance from you can force her to face her own internal struggles. What you can control is how you respond. Focus on building your own emotional resilience and protecting your peace. A high-value man understands that his worth isn't dependent on someone else's ability or willingness to commit. A man who has cultivated a Stoic mindset knows that his emotional stability comes from within and is not reliant on another person's actions or feelings. In a situation like this, what matters most is not wasting time on someone who isn't ready to give you the same level of commitment and respect that you offer them. You deserve a partner who shares your values, who's ready to walk alongside you through the ups and downs, and who isn't afraid to face life's challenges together. So, what do you do when you spot the signs of a commitment phobe early on? Trust in yourself. Recognize these patterns and take them as a signal that the relationship is not where it needs to be. Protect your heart and invest in someone who is emotionally available and willing to meet you halfway. The most important relationship in life is the one you have with yourself. If you can nurture that, you'll become a man who is strong, grounded, and prepared to build a healthy, committed relationship when the time comes. Cultivating self-love and emotional resilience will ensure that you're not dependent on anyone for your happiness or peace. When you do that, everything else will naturally fall into place. As Stoic teaches, stay grounded, stay true to your values, and be patient with the process. Don't let your worth be tied to someone else's commitment. Instead, create your own path to happiness and fulfillment. Remember, you deserve a partner who shares your commitment to mutual respect, loyalty, and emotional availability. As a high-value man, you must always focus on protecting your peace, embracing self-love, and investing in relationships that respect your worth. Be careful, and remember, true happiness comes from within. Stay strong. 10 ways to defeat any woman who's playing with your heart. Stoicism. Have you ever been ignored? You think everything is going well, but suddenly she disappears without a trace, leaving you hanging and wondering what happened. Or maybe she plays hot and cold. One day she's everywhere with you, the next day silent as a sheet. Crazy, right? Let me be brutally honest with you. Women play games. If you don't recognize these games and don't know how to deal with them, you'll be stuck in an endless loop of frustration, confusion, and pain. But here's the thing, it's not your fault that these games exist, but it's your responsibility to beat them. If you're tired of being used, if you're tired of emotional games, and you're ready to take back your power, follow along. These 10 Stoic strategies will change your life. Number 1. Detach emotionally. In relationships, it's easy to get caught up in emotions, especially when things seem uncertain or start to change. But what if I told you that the key to attracting and maintaining a strong connection with women isn't in being overly emotional or reactive, but in mastering the art of emotional detachment? Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. This quote from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus offers a powerful life lesson that you can apply to your relationships. Emotional detachment, the first strategy in maintaining your emotional composure, is the foundation of Stoic wisdom. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It simply means you're no longer controlled by your emotions. You become more deliberate in your responses, refusing to let someone else dictate how you feel. Far too often, when a woman pulls away, becomes distant or acts cold, many men react impulsively, getting anxious, overthinking the situation, and trying to fix things. But this behavior doesn't win her admiration, it shows weakness. Women in many ways are testing you. They want to see how you react under pressure. When you chase after them, desperate for their attention, you fail the test. The key here is emotional detachment. When she's texting you every 5 minutes, or she goes silent for days, it's crucial that your emotional state remains constant. You remain calm and centered. It doesn't matter if she's playing games or if you feel like you might lose her. Your emotional state doesn't fluctuate. You are not swayed by her actions. Practicing emotional detachment not only helps you maintain your peace, but makes you more attractive to women. Why? Because women are drawn to men who can maintain their composure in any situation. This calm, controlled demeanor demonstrates strength, and as we know, strength is what makes a man irresistible. The more you practice emotional detachment, the more powerful your presence becomes in any relationship. Remember, the Stoic life lesson is about mastering yourself and your emotions first, allowing you to act with clarity, not out of desperation or fear. You become a man who remains unwavering, regardless of the circumstances, someone who can handle challenges with grace and self-control. And that's the kind of man that attracts and commands respect. This is the core of Win Stoic: emotional strength and composure. Number 2, recognize behavioral patterns. Women are creatures of habit, and trust me, once you start paying attention, you'll notice patterns in their behavior that you didn't see before. Why is this important? Because patterns reveal intent. Once you see the pattern, the game becomes predictable, and when something is predictable, you can easily outsmart it. One of the most common patterns you'll see is hot and cold behavior. One day she's texting you non-stop, saying how amazing you are, hinting at future plans together. The next day, nothing, crickets. She's suddenly busy, distant, or acting like she doesn't care. It's maddening, right? This is the classic push-pull strategy. Women do this to see if they can get you to chase. If you fall for it and start blowing up her phone, asking, "Is everything okay? Did I do something wrong?" you're playing right into her hands. Here's what you need to do. Recognize that this is a test of your emotional control. She wants to see if she can get a reaction out of you. Most guys fail this test because they panic and chase harder. But you're not most guys. You're going to stay calm, composed, and let her come to you. When you don't react to her hot and cold behavior, you flip the script. Suddenly, she's the one chasing you, wondering why you didn't fall for her game. And let me be clear, this behavior isn't always malicious. Sometimes women do it subconsciously, testing your confidence without even realizing it. But whether it's intentional or not, the result is the same. You need to stay emotionally grounded and unshakable. Another pattern to watch for is the breadcrumbing technique. This is when she gives you just enough attention to keep you interested, but never fully commits. You might get a flirty text here and there, or she'll agree to hang out sometime, but when it comes time to make real plans, she's nowhere to be found. This is a game designed to keep you on the hook, investing your time and energy without getting any real commitment in return. How do you handle breadcrumbing? Easy. You call it out without anger and without emotional investment. You say something like, "Look, I'm not here for half-hearted attention. If you're not interested in spending time together, that's fine, but I'm not going to wait around for you." You're not angry, you're not emotional, and most importantly, you're not chasing. By doing this, you make it clear that you have standards and you're not willing to settle for less than you deserve. Comment below, "I choose awareness over uncertainty." Let's focus on understanding the behavior around us and using that knowledge to strengthen our emotional resilience. Number 3. Set boundaries early. Setting boundaries isn't just about protecting yourself. It's about commanding respect. And here's the harsh truth. If you don't set boundaries early in the relationship, you're signaling to her that it's okay to walk all over you. Most guys are afraid to set boundaries because they think it'll scare women away. But let me tell you something. Women crave boundaries. Why? Because boundaries show that you respect yourself. And a man who respects himself is a man who others will respect too. So how do you set boundaries without coming across as controlling or insecure? First, understand that boundaries are about your well-being. It's not about telling her what she can or can't do. It's about communicating what you need to feel respected in the relationship. For example, if she constantly cancels plans last minute or leaves you hanging with no explanation, you don't ignore it or shrug it off. You address it calmly and directly. Here's how it plays out. "Hey, I've noticed you've been canceling a lot lately and I value consistency. If you're not interested in making plans work, that's fine, but I'm not okay with this back and forth." You're not attacking her. You're not accusing her, you're simply stating your boundary. And here's the magic of it. When you communicate boundaries from a place of self-respect, it forces her to either step up and respect you, or she'll move on. Either way, you win, because you've protected your emotional energy. Let me give you a common scenario where boundaries are crucial. Say you're dating a woman who likes to flirt with other guys in front of you. She might do it to make you jealous or test how much you care. Most guys either blow up and get angry or sit there stewing in jealousy, but not you. You calmly pull her aside later and say, "Look, I'm not into games. If you're interested in other guys, that's fine, but I'm not going to stick around for that." Notice how you're not reacting emotionally. You're setting a boundary and leaving it up to her to respect it. If she doesn't, you walk away. Number 4. Stay calm under pressure. When it comes to mind games, nothing is more powerful than staying calm under pressure. Women often test men to see if they can make them lose their cool. They'll bring up their ex, flirt with other guys, or even make passive-aggressive comments to see how you'll react. It's a classic move designed to provoke you emotionally, and most men take the bait. But not you. You're going to handle these situations like a stoic. When she starts pushing your buttons, you're going to remain calm, composed, and completely unbothered. Here's why this works. When you refuse to react, it disarms her completely. She expects you to blow up, get jealous, or start arguing. But when you remain calm, you send a clear message: you can't control me. Let me give you an example. Let's say she brings up her ex during a conversation, saying something like, "My ex used to take me to this amazing restaurant," or "I had so much fun with my ex last summer." She's trying to get a rise out of you. She's trying to make you feel insecure or jealous. Most guys would react with something like, "I don't want to hear about your ex," or "Why are you still thinking about him?" But not you. You're going to stay calm and respond with something like, "That's cool. I'm sure he was a great guy." You don't give her the reaction she's looking for, and that makes you unpredictable. Here's another scenario. She's flirting with another guy in front of you, maybe even in a group setting. Most guys would start fuming, either trying to outdo the other guy or get angry at her for disrespecting them. But a Stoic man remains calm. Even if it stings a little inside, you don't engage in competition. You simply observe and let her see that you're not threatened. If she's doing this to get attention from you, your calmness will make her wonder why you're not reacting. That's when the power shifts back to you. The key here is to never let your emotions control your actions. When you stay calm under pressure, you show her that you're not easily shaken, and that makes you incredibly attractive. Number 5, focus on long-term goals. A lot of guys lose their way in relationships because they're too focused on immediate gratification. They want the validation of her affection, the high of her attention, or the quick fix of resolving a conflict. But Stoicism teaches us to play the long game. When you focus on your long-term goals, you stop obsessing over the day-to-day drama of a relationship. Think about it this way. If you're building a successful career, working on your fitness and striving for personal growth, do you really have time to get caught up in petty mind games? Of course not. You have bigger things on your plate. And this shift in mindset does two things. First, it makes you less emotionally reactive because you're not putting all your emotional eggs in the basket of a woman's attention. Second, it makes you more attractive because you're a man on a mission. And nothing is more attractive to women than a man with purpose. Let's say you've been seeing a woman for a few weeks and everything's going well. Then, out of nowhere, she starts pulling back, texting less, making fewer plans, and generally acting distant. Most guys would panic, overthink, and start trying to fix the situation. They'd get anxious, start chasing harder, and make the classic mistake of becoming too available. But a man who's focused on his long-term goals doesn't flinch. Why? Because he knows that his life isn't defined by whether or not this woman is giving him attention. He's busy building his empire, improving himself, and working towards his goals. If she wants to be a part of that journey, great. If not, he's not going to lose sleep over it. When you focus on your long-term goals, you naturally become more emotionally independent. You stop needing validation from her because you're getting validation from your progress, your accomplishments, and your growth. And here's the kicker. When she sees that you're not chasing her or getting caught up in the drama, she'll be drawn to you even more. Why? Because you're different. You're not the guy who's waiting around for her to text back. You're the guy who's too busy building his life to care about petty games. Number 6, avoid emotional retaliation. One of the biggest mistakes that men often make when navigating the complexities of relationships with women is emotionally retaliating when they feel hurt or manipulated. Maybe she flirts with another guy to make you jealous, or she goes silent for days, leaving you wondering what went wrong. Your first instinct may be to get even, to flirt with someone else, to ignore her, or to play the same game back at her. But let me be crystal clear, this never works. The moment you start retaliating emotionally, you've already lost the battle. Why? Because you are reacting to her, and that means she's in control. When you react emotionally, you are allowing her to dictate your behavior, and that immediately places her in the driver's seat. A Stoic man, however, understands that emotional retaliation is a sign of weakness, not strength. Instead of reacting, a Stoic man practices emotional control and responds with calm indifference. A true Stoic man does not let his emotions rule him. If she ghosts him, He doesn't chase her or play games in return. He doesn't need her approval to validate his worth. Instead, he withdraws his attention and focuses on himself, his goals, his passions, and his personal growth. If she tries to make him jealous by flirting with another man, he doesn't take the bait. He remains composed, understanding that the game is not worth playing. He continues living his life, unfazed by her attempts to control his emotions. Think about this. Imagine you're at a social gathering with a woman you've been seeing, and she starts flirting with another guy right in front of you. What would most men do? They'd either get angry, confront her about it, or maybe even flirt with someone else to make her jealous. But both of these responses come from a place of insecurity. A high-value man, however, does not react to these situations with anger or manipulation. Instead, he stays calm and does not engage with the game. He doesn't give her the reaction she's seeking, and that drives her crazy. Why? Because you've just shown her that she does not have power over you. The moment you refuse to engage emotionally, you show her that you are not desperate for her validation, nor are you easily swayed by her games. The beauty of practicing Stoic life lessons is that when you don't retaliate emotionally, you maintain control over the situation. You send a strong message: I am not going to be manipulated by your games. And the truth is, when you don't react, the game loses its power. The woman will either stop playing these games or realize that you are not someone she can control. Either way, you win. When you remain unshaken, you retain your self-respect and show her that your emotional well-being is not dependent on her actions. Number 7. Communicate clearly and firmly. This is a key lesson for high-value men. A man who is truly high-value does not waste energy reacting to emotional games or trying to manipulate situations to get validation. His sense of self-worth is derived from his own inner strength and understanding of his value, not from the whims of others. By practicing emotional detachment, you not only preserve your dignity, but also increase your appeal. Women are drawn to men who are emotionally independent, who don't let others control how they feel or behave. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation where you might be tempted to retaliate emotionally, take a step back and remember, the most powerful response is no response at all. Stay calm, maintain your peace, and let the situation unfold naturally, knowing that your emotional control is what sets you apart. Communication is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, but most people get it wrong. They either avoid tough conversations altogether or approach them with too much emotion, leading to arguments, misunderstandings, and more drama. A Stoic man knows how to communicate clearly and firmly without letting his emotions get the best of him. Here's the key: communicate your needs and boundaries calmly. When you're dealing with a woman who's playing games, you don't need to yell, argue, or make accusations. Instead, you calmly express what you expect and leave it at that. Say she's been acting distant or inconsistent and it's starting to affect you. Most guys would either blow up at her or try to suppress their feelings, but a Stoic man addresses the issue head-on without drama. He says something like, "Hey, I've noticed you've been acting differently lately. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'd like to know if there's something we need to talk about." Notice how you're not accusing her, you're not raising your voice, and you're not demanding answers. You're simply communicating your observation and inviting her to explain. This approach disarms her because you're not coming from a place of neediness or emotion. You're coming from a place of calm confidence, and that's incredibly attractive. When you communicate clearly and firmly, you set the tone for the relationship. You show her that you're not afraid to address issues and you're not going to let things fester. This creates a relationship dynamic based on respect and honesty, not manipulation and mind games. You've made it this far because you're committed to living with clarity and purpose. Leave a comment with the phrase, "Clear communication, strong life," to show you're embracing this wisdom. Number 8. Prioritize your own well-being. At the end of the day, the most important relationship you have isn't with her, it's with yourself. This is the fundamental truth that so many men forget, especially when they're caught up in emotional games and manipulative behavior. If you're constantly stressed, anxious, and feeling like you're walking on eggshells, it's time to take a hard look at what you're allowing into your life. No one, man or woman, is worth sacrificing your mental peace, your self-respect, or your well-being. The moment you put someone else's needs above your own sanity, you've already lost the game. Now, I'm not saying to become selfish or disregard others. This is about balance. When you prioritize your own well-being, you become more attractive, not less. Women are drawn to men who are grounded, who know their value, and who refuse to let anyone destabilize them. This doesn't just apply to relationships either. In every aspect of your life, whether it's your career, friendships, or family, you need to prioritize you. Imagine you're seeing a woman who constantly sends mixed signals. One minute she's all over you, the next she's distant and cold. You start questioning yourself. You start wondering what you did wrong. You might even start changing your behavior to accommodate her mood swings. Stop right there. Ask yourself, how is this affecting my mental health? If the answer is negatively, you need to take action. Take a step back, withdraw your energy, and refocus on what makes you feel good. Whether that's hitting the gym, working on your side hustle, or spending time with friends who truly have your back, you owe it to yourself to protect your peace at all costs. And here's the kicker. The moment you stop prioritizing her and start prioritizing yourself, two things will happen. Either she'll recognize your value and start respecting you more, or she'll leave because she can no longer control you. Either way, you win. You've either cut loose someone who doesn't respect you, or you've gained the upper hand in the relationship by showing that you're not easily swayed. In today's world, men are bombarded with the idea that they have to cater to women's emotions and needs at the expense of their own well-being. This is nonsense. Prioritizing your mental, emotional, and physical health isn't just attractive, it's essential for your survival in the modern dating world. When you show that your peace of mind is non-negotiable, you instantly become more desirable and respected. So the next time you feel your peace being threatened by someone else's erratic behavior, ask yourself, is this worth sacrificing my well-being for? If the answer is no, then it's time to recalibrate and get back to what truly matters. Number 9. Practice patience. Let me tell you something that most guys don't want to hear. Patience is the most powerful tool in your arsenal when it comes to handling women who play games. I get it. You want results now, you want clarity now, and you want to know where you stand right this second. But here's the thing. Women often test your patience to see if you can handle the uncertainty. In a world where everyone is glued to their phones, waiting for that instant reply, the man who practices patience stands out. He's rare, he's valuable, he's the one who doesn't crack under pressure. If she doesn't text you back within 5 minutes, you don't freak out. If she cancels plans last minute, you don't lose your temper. You let things unfold naturally and you stay composed. Women will test your patience, period. They'll take hours to respond to a text. They'll go silent for days, just to see if you'll panic, chase them. And guess what? Most guys fall for it. They start double texting, asking if something is wrong and trying to fix the situation. But you're different. You practice patience like a master. The next time she pulls one of these moves, instead of reacting, do nothing. That's right, nothing. Let her come to you. Give her the time and space to reach out when she's ready. Trust me, she will notice that you didn't fall for her game. She'll start wondering why you're not chasing her, and that, my friend, is when the power shifts in your favor. Why is patience so powerful? Because it shows that you're not desperate for her validation. It shows that you're not emotionally fragile. It shows that you have your own life, your own priorities, and that you're not going to drop everything just because she decided to pull back. This makes you a challenge, and women love challenges. Patience is not just about waiting for her to text back or commit. It's about delaying gratification in all aspects of your life. When you learn to practice patience, you stop chasing after things that don't serve you in the long run. You stop reacting emotionally to every little thing. You stop getting caught up in the roller coaster of emotions that so many men fall victim to. A Stoic man knows that good things take time. He's not in a rush. He's not desperate. He's playing the long game, and the long game always wins. While other men are scrambling for attention and immediate validation, you're sitting back, letting things unfold and staying focused on your goals. Remember, patience doesn't mean doing nothing forever. It means waiting for the right moment to act. Whether it's in your relationship, your career, or your personal growth, patience allows you to make calculated, strategic moves that pay off in the long run. It's not about instant gratification, it's about lasting success. Number 10, choose when to walk away. Now this is where things get serious. There's a saying that goes, the most powerful position is to be able to walk away and mean it. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Knowing when to walk away is the ultimate power move. It's the nuclear option. It's the trump card that most men are too afraid to play. But when you play it, you instantly gain the upper hand. Let's get one thing straight. Not every woman is worth your time or energy. If she's playing games, stringing you along, disrespecting your time, or treating you like an option, you need to be prepared to walk away. Not in a petty, dramatic way, but with calm, quiet confidence. Here's the key. When you walk away, you're showing her that you don't need her validation. You're showing her that you have options. You're showing her that your self-respect is more important than her approval. And here's the kicker. Most of the time, when you walk away, she'll chase you. Why? Because walking away is the ultimate act of self-respect, and women are drawn to men who respect themselves. But let's be clear, walking away isn't a tactic to manipulate her into chasing you. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less. When you walk away, you're saying, I'm not going to play this game anymore. If you want to be in my life, great, but if not, I'm perfectly fine without you. If she's constantly flaking on plans, texting other guys, or disrespecting you in any way, you simply say, look, I'm not interested in being part of this back and forth. If you're serious about us, let me know. If not, I'm moving on. No anger, no frustration, no drama, just calm, collected confidence. And then you walk away. You don't send a follow-up text. You don't check her Instagram stories. You focus on yourself, your goals, and your well-being. And here's the harsh truth. Sometimes walking away means walking away for good. There will be times when she doesn't chase you. when she doesn't come back, and that's okay. Because by walking away, you've already won. You've maintained your dignity, your self-respect, and your peace of mind. And trust me, those are far more valuable than any fleeting relationship. Why is this so powerful? Because most men are afraid to walk away. They're afraid of losing her. They're afraid of being alone. But when you walk away, you're saying, I'm not afraid. I know my worth, and I'm not settling for less. That kind of confidence is rare, and it's magnetic. And here's the best part. When you walk away, you free yourself from the emotional games. You take back control of your life. You stop letting someone else dictate your happiness or self-worth, and that, my friend, is true power. So there you have it. 10 powerful ways to outsmart anyone playing games with your heart. These strategies aren't just for relationships. They're about mastering your life. When you practice emotional detachment, set boundaries, and stay calm, you become a modern Stoic, an unstoppable force. At Win Stoic, we focus on becoming the best version of yourself. If you found value in this video, like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our content. Let's keep growing and building a community of high-value men.